KenzieChenelle back with another video, and welcome to Vlogmas day number 5. I'm so excited that I've been doing it and keeping up with it, and I'm just happy and thankful for everybody who's been liking my videos and watching my videos. And if you have not ever seen my channel, then welcome, and if you are back, then what's up, you guys? But don't forget to continuously like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever. Like, come on, y'all, like, help a sister out. Like, let me know what y'all want to see too, because if I'm doing something that you don't want to see, then let me know. Or like, if you want to see a certain video, then let me know. How am I gonna know what to record if y'all don't tell me anything, you know? But let's just get right into today's video. I'm gonna be telling you a story time, and it is about, well, you can see the title, the time I encountered the worst possible ex ever. And I do mean that. Like, yeah, so we're just gonna get right into this video because I'm actually about to go out. I know y'all like, what? You going out? Yes, I'm going out just like this. I don't care. I don't look bad, but I got this little thingy on because I'm trying to hold my hair down right now. So I might keep it on though, honestly, because I mean, it really don't look bad, but I don't know. But let's just get right into this video. Okay, so basically the ex that I'm talking about is a guy that I was recently talking to. Not recently, we broke up in March, but recently. So yeah, so I'm just gonna get right into it. His name is going to be James in this story time, and it's just really just me and him involved. So back in September of 2018, me and James had became like cool. Well, I already knew him from previous schools that I went to, but I hadn't really talked to him like that. And me and him had gotten cool or whatever, but like I said, we hadn't really talked. So that's when he had started hitting me up, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember you from school, blah, blah, blah. And we just started talking like every day after that. And he would come like see me or whatever, and then we would go like get food, like different little stuff like that, nothing major. So me, him, my niece, and I think that was it. It was just me, him, and my niece. One day we went out to cook out and just got some food, and then we were just listening to music. We was all just having a good time, and I just was really feeling his vibe. I mean, but I could feel anybody's vibe. Like, if you got a good heart and good spirit, then I can feel it. Well, sometimes I'm off, and in this case, I was very, very off. Like, honestly, this story might need to be 2 parts, so I might tell half of it today and half of it tomorrow, because it's so much, and I don't want to miss any of it because this is crazy. So anyway, like I said, we went out that night, and then when we had gotten back from home or whatever, we was just talking on the phone, and that was pretty much it. So the next morning, he was like, basically, he wanted to tell me something, and I kind of had a feeling of what he was going to tell me, but I was just like, okay, what's up? And he was like, I really, really like you, and I would like love to get the chance to have you as my girlfriend. And I was like, oh. So right then, that's when I told him, I was like, look, I understand that you like me and you want to be a girlfriend, this and the third, but I'm pregnant or whatever. And at this time, I wasn't showing, but I was already 3 months pregnant. And as some of y'all might know, y'all might not know, but me and my child's father, we were not together. I broke up with him when I was a month pregnant, if that. So yeah, I was a month pregnant when I broke up with him. So he was like, okay, that's fine or whatever, because my thing for me telling him was I never want to leave somebody on, or basically just like have them in a situation and they don't really know what, like, the full story or what's going on. So I went ahead and told him straight up, I'm like, look, I'm having somebody else's baby. I don't know how you would feel about that or whatever. And he just seemed like it was cool, and he was like, okay, that's fine. I don't care nothing about that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. But that still wasn't me okaying to be his girlfriend. That was just me saying, okay, like, I didn't lay it out there on the table. So come around like October, we had been hanging out like consistently. Like, we was just real cool, real, like, we was just tight. Like, we had honestly gotten like super tight or whatever. So around the middle of October, maybe the 15th, 16th, something like that, he had messaged me on Snapchat, and he was like, look, I need you to come get me. And I was like, okay, where you at? And he had told me, he sent me the address, and I was like, okay, I'm on the way. So I went and picked him up, and I was like, what's up? Like, what's going on? And he was like, I don't got nowhere to go. My parents kicked me out, this and the third. And I was like, for what? Like, why? And he was basically like, they kicked me out because I told them I liked you and I wanted to be with you or whatever. And they know you pregnant and all this other stuff. And I'm like, So they kicked you out for that? Like, that was my thing. And he was like, yeah. But prior to this, I had been hanging out, going over his house. Like, I had stayed with him before. Like, not, we ain't never do nothing like that. But, like, I just stayed with him. Like, we was real cool. And his parents acted like that was cool with everything. And he had told them before that I was pregnant or whatever. And they acted like it was fine. But what he didn't mention is after he told him that, they was saying, like, different little things. Like, they didn't want him to be around me. And they didn't want him to be involved with somebody like that. I mean, which is not cool. But it's understandable for somebody to be like kind of iffy about their child getting involved with somebody who has a kid when he is only 18. And then on top of that, like, barely got stuff going their own self or whatever. Which should have been a red flag for me to not put myself in a situation like that. But I mean, hey, you live, you learn, you're done, whatever. So basically, I had went with him. And, well, when I went and got him or whatever, he was telling me about that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm sure my mama wouldn't mind you coming to stay with us. I'm thinking for, like, one night and you going back. That's what I'm thinking in my head. But the next day, we was talking and he was like, no, they put me out. They told me to go. And I'm like, oh, for good. And he was like, yeah, like, they don't want me back at the house until I'm not dealing with you. And I don't want to not deal with you. So what the heck is you gonna do? Like, that's like my thing. I'm like, you need to talk to your people. You need to get in touch with them, because at the end of the day, like, come on now. That's your family. Like, you barely know me, like, talking about. I mean, we cool. We've been getting to know each other, but still, you don't know me like that. But he was just consistent and he's not going back. He don't want to talk to them, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, okay. So I was like telling my mama, she was like, so when he leaving? Like, she wasn't being funny, but like, we got a stranger in our house pretty much. Like, prior to this, he had never been in my house, like, ever. So we was like, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to get him to go back because he don't want to go back because he want to be with me. But I'm just like, I'm not even ready to be in a relationship with you. But the type of people we are, like, we'll open the house up to somebody. Like, yeah, if you need it, we got you. But it's a time and a point when you pushing your welcome. And it got to where he was pushing his welcome because he had been here 1 day, 2 day, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. And we're like, okay, what, like, come on now. Like, and like his parents would call him and talk to him, and then him and his mama would get into it. Like, it was a mess. But come to find out now, like, honestly, it wasn't even what he was making it seem. For real, his parents was not even doing half the stuff he was saying that they was doing to him. And it was just really bad. Like, he was a really toxic person, like, honestly. But y'all will hear about all of that too. So let me just get back into the story. So it got to the point where, like, he was there for like a month and we like, okay, he's clearly not going anywhere. Like, we didn't want to put him out because he didn't have anywhere to go. But at the same instance, you don't live here, like, type of thing. So I was like, you know what? Okay. I was like, I wanted to move out anyway. I was like, he don't have nowhere to go. I don't want to put him out on the street. I was like, we can get an apartment. He didn't have any, like, rental history. He didn't have a job, mind you. Month here, no job. Like, so we just like, okay. So I was like, I didn't have a job either because it was like close to me getting ready to give birth. I gave birth in January, but when in like October, November-ish, they had told me they didn't want me working because my feet was swelling up and all this stuff. And he wanted me basically to rest. That's what my doctor had told me. So when it came time for me to get a place, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take out 3. I told him this too, and I was like, we don't have no money. I don't have no money. You don't have no money. So what we going to do? You need to go back home or we got to get a place or something because I don't want to be living in my mama's house with a guy she don't know. And I don't really know, like, talking about. He was like, yeah, we do, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, you don't have no money. I mean, I'm telling you, but you agreeing like you got some cash somewhere. And you don't. So I had told him, I was like, look, I'm gonna take out 3 loans. I'm gonna take out enough money for us to be able to pay the first 2 months. It was the first 2 months. No, the rent for the first month, the prorated rent. Well, prorated rent, the first full month, and the deposit, and like get some furniture and stuff. So I took out 3 loans. That's what it took for me to do it. 3 loans. And he was like, okay, I'm about to give me a job. I'm gonna pay the loans back and I'm gonna pay the bills. And I was like, okay. Because I'm like, yeah, you definitely need to pay these loans back, because I wouldn't have had to get these loans if you would have stayed at your people's house. Like, yeah. So he was like, yeah, of course, blah, blah, blah. So, and then he was like, well, you're not working right now. I'm going to pay for all the bills and all this other stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. So we was doing okay. I mean, we would get into arguments here and there. Actually, we would get into arguments all the time, just because he would be doing stupid stuff. Like, not cheating, but he'll be doing stupid stuff, like retarded stuff. It was ridiculous. But come January, I had given birth to my daughter, and after I gave birth to her, I was back and forth in the hospital. I told y'all this in another video. If you haven't seen that, you can go back and look at my what was it, postpartum anxiety and depression video, and I think it's in there somewhere, because I had that and I was constantly thinking something was going on me, like constantly feeling like I was about to die. So I was back and forth in the hospital for like 2 weeks straight, 2 or 3 weeks straight, just constantly going back every single night. And he was right there with me. That's one thing I can't take away from him. Like, I really can't say too much good about him, but that's one thing. Like, he didn't complain not once about that. So I appreciated that or whatever. And he know that, and I told him that. But anyway, when I had gave birth to her, I couldn't really walk that well because of the C-section and all that stuff. So I came and stayed at my mama's house. He had came and stayed here for like a day or two, but then he went back to North Carolina because that's where his job was. So he was staying in an apartment, and I was staying here. We were still together, and we would see each other because he would come down here every day. But also, I told him in March, I was like, look, I appreciate what you've done or whatever, especially being there for me when I was going through the anxiety and depression, but this ain't working. Like, I don't want to be with you or whatever. And he was like begging me to be with me, and I'm like, it's like no way around it. I don't want to be with you. Like, when you with somebody for the wrong reason, then that'll wear off fast. And my reason for being with him was just because he was sweet. Like, it wasn't really no other thing. And I know that's bad. That's really, really bad. Like, Lord, forgive me. I've already gotten my karma for this. Like, my karma was what he ended up doing to me. But as far as like being attracted to him, I wasn't attracted to him like in any way at all. Like, he was not my type. But that's besides the point. Yeah, we had ended up breaking up, and I told him, I was like, look, I know you don't have nowhere to go. I do. So what's gonna happen is you can have a place. You just make sure you pay the bills and stuff, because I'm not living there. I'm not gonna pay for something that I'm not living at. And he understood. Like, we was cool on that. So January, well, I have fast forwarded to March just now, but I need to rewind back to December. In December, he needed a car or whatever, because they sent him without a car, and he didn't have any money to get a car. So my mama had told him that he can drive the Mercedes. Excuse me. She didn't say anything about paying a car note, and she didn't say anything about paying the insurance on the car. So he was driving the car for free. Okay. He still had the car all the way. Once I gave birth, he had the car. Once we broke up, he had the car up until September without paying anything on the car. So then it got to the point where my mom was like, okay, I'll pay the insurance, but you need to pay the car note, because I haven't had my car since December. I haven't had it the whole summer, December 3rd. And he was like, okay. He was like, okay, I got it. Okay, mind you, he only paid one car note, and that was it. He didn't pay anything. He didn't pay the insurance because she didn't say he had to. But that one car note, he was late on. So like, she was like, okay. So by the time the next car note rolled around, she was like, okay, with the money or whatever, basically. And he was like, oh, I don't have it. I'm looking for a different job. And then he was, what was it? Sorry. He was like, I don't have it, and I'll give it to you when I get it, and I'm gonna pay half and this and the third. He was just giving her the runaround. And she was like, okay, if you don't want the car, just let me know, because so I can have it and I'll pay it or whatever. He was like, no, I got you, da da da. So she let him keep it. Mind you, this situation like this occurred a few times, actually, because now that I think about it, I don't think it was in September. I think it was more like August or July when she had told him this, because it happened a few times where he gave her the runaround saying he was gonna pay it, and he did pay it. So she ended up having to pay it or whatever, which of course her not knowing she had to pay it, it would be late. So he, back in October, so once October of this year hit, I had went up to the place because I was getting me some clothes. And when I walked in, I seen weed. He had pills. He had the house smelling like horrible. Like, it was really bad or whatever. And it smelled so bad because he had a dog up there that he didn't take care of. First of all, we were not supposed to have dogs in the apartment. So that's number one. Number two, the fact that you have an animal in there and you're not taking care of it shows what type of person you are. You're like disgusting. So I'm like, okay. And then the fact that you smoking weed when you've been back and forth in the hospital for mess like that can be prevented is another problem. So I went upstairs to where he was at and I like went off. Like, it was just no thinking about it. I snapped out. I was like, you got all this weed in my house, you smoking, and you can't even take care of yourself, and then you got a dog in here, you're not taking care of the dog, and you're not supposed to have a dog. Like, we was just going back and forth. Like, we was arguing, like full on arguing. So it got to where I told him, I was like, you know what, get your stuff and get out. I'll pay it myself. Get out, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I'm not going nowhere. So I came back downstairs because the place, it was a 3-bedroom, but it was 2 bedrooms upstairs, 1 bedroom downstairs because it was like a townhouse type of thing. So I came downstairs. I called the police because I wanted him to be escorted out. I'm so crazy, not even thinking about it. They get there and they was like, how long have you been here? I was like, since last November. And they looked at me and was like, ma'am, you cannot put him out. Even though your name is the only one on the lease, he's still technically basically like a tenant because he's been here almost a year now. And I was like, but what are y'all good for? Like, I was so upset, y'all. It was a mess. And they was like, ma'am, we can't do anything about this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what, whatever. So then when they left, he was like, you doing all of this and I pay all the bills, blah, 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 this and the third. And I was like, okay, and I don't care because you was supposed to pay the bills. Why would I pay the bills somewhere that I don't live at? And blah, blah, blah. Like, we was going back and forth. It was a complete mess. So anyway, I ended up leaving, coming back to my parents' house, and he messaged me like 2 days later, and he was like, I'm going to leave. I'm going to just leave the apartment, keys here at the house. I'm going to drop the car back off, whatever. And I was like, cool. So I wasn't at the house, and my mama called me. So this was probably like 2 days after that. My mama called me and she was like, hey, did you know he was dropping off the car? And I was like, yeah. No. I told her, I was like, I said, yeah, he had said something about he was gonna drop it off or whatever. And then I said, why? She was like, cause the car outside, but he ain't come knock on the door. He ain't ring the doorbell. He ain't bring me my keys. He didn't do nothing. Like, and so basically what he had done is drop the car off at the house. He didn't even have the balls to go up to the door and give my mama the keys when he had her car. He hadn't changed the oil in the car at all. He hadn't changed the tires. Like, the tires is flat on the truck. He cracked the windshield. Like, he did a whole lot of mess. Yeah, and he didn't say anything about it. So I went out to the car when I got back home, and the keys to the apartment and the truck was in there. So I got him and brought him in the house. So I went up to the apartment like the next day, and I had a letter on the door. So when I got to the apartment, because this was like November the 2nd at this point, because our lease ended November the 1st, so I knew I needed to go get my stuff out. So when I got to the door, I seen the letter and I opened it up, and it said, you owe $1,868.53 or something like that. Like $1,868. And I was like, what? And it was saying you haven't paid any rent since September, October, and November. Okay, do y'all remember back in this story when I said that this fool said, I've been paying all the bills, you ain't paid nothing? Clearly you hadn't paid all the bills. Because if you had paid all the bills, I wouldn't have a letter saying that I owe these people $1,900 pretty much. That's number one. Number two, I checked the mail. The lights hadn't been paid. Mind you, the lights are used to being $98 at the most at the place. This fool left me with a bill of $513. What the F have you been doing? Like, legit, if I can find these bills, I'm not going to be able to find it for this video because it's at that house. Because I still got to get some more stuff out. I know it's December now, but they are giving me time because they understood. I told them everything that went on. But, mind you, Fool, you said you were paying all of these bills and you have not paid anything. Okay, and if this was not enough, I go in. So once I get in the house fully or whatever, and I get my mind together without finding this fool and killing him, I see that my PS4 is gone. And I'm like, well, maybe it's upstairs. So I go upstairs to look, and it wasn't up there. This fool had stole my PS4, left me with almost $2,000 in debt, plus the lights, which would have been $2,500 in debt, knowing I have a child, knowing I don't live there, and knowing that I'm thinking you're paying the bills, pretty much, just like you said. So I messaged him. He wouldn't message me back because we didn't have each other's numbers. Well, yeah, he didn't have my number and I didn't have his number. So I was like, okay. All right, so I got in touch with one of his friends, and his friend was like, oh, yeah, he's at his grandma's house. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to his grandma's house. Like, I don't care. These people ain't nothing to me, so what they going to do? Like, pretty much that's what. Sorry, my dad had called. But anyway, I had messaged him, and he wouldn't message me back. So then I messaged him again, and he still didn't message back. So I was like, okay. So I waited like a week, and then I messaged him again, and I was like, look, I'm not trying to argue with you, but where's my PS4? And why haven't you paid any bills or whatever? And why did you mess up my mama's car? Okay, guys, so my dad called again. But yeah, so basically, when I said that or whatever, he was like, I just didn't pay the rent for the past 2 months, and I have your PS4. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take it. No, you meant to take it. Why are you being stupid? Like, I'm just asking you a question. Like, you can simply say because I wanted it, but you gonna get it back, pretty much. So, like, we argued about this for, like, 3 days, and finally he was like, yeah, I had to get the money to get to send it back to you. I'm gonna send it back to you as soon as I can, blah blah blah. Fool, why did you take it in the first place? Why did you leave me with all this debt? Why did you claim that you care so much about my child and then you leave her mom with $2,500 in debt? Like, come on now. So, oh yeah, and why did you mess up my mother's car? Like, this man was so sorry. It was terrible. And then he was lying to us a whole lot, like many times, about having these different jobs when he was sitting at the apartment playing the game. Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, this man was at my child's entire birth. And then you do something like this. And then, and then he had won a TV from one of his jobs. And he said, oh, yeah, she can have this TV or whatever. I don't want it, blah, blah. Like, we're talking about my daughter. And then he took the TV, too. Like, boy. Y'all, when I am here to say men ain't nothing. Like, and if you find you a good one, you better hold on to them. And I might have me a good one. I do have me a good one right now. No, I just got a friend right now, and he's like the sweetest little person ever. But whatever, that doesn't matter. But yes, I just want to give y'all this story. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share your thoughts down below, because I know it is an entire mess. But until next time, I'm Rosebud out. Peace.